They toasted 5 years of marriage without me. Sat at a table I paid for, ate food my money bought, and posted the photos publicly. That was their mistake. I'm Carol, 62 years old, retired school principal, and apparently not family. That's what Danielle said to my son Tyler's face when she thought I was upstairs. Your mom is not family, Tyler. She's basically a tenant. And Tyler, my Tyler, the one I drove to baseball practice every Saturday morning for 8 years. He said nothing. I heard it. Through the ceiling of the house where I pay $2,400 a month in rent, cover 3/4 of the grocery bill, and keep the utilities running. My money, my silence, apparently. But let's go back to where it started. Because it didn't start with the anniversary dinner. It started 5 years ago when Tyler called me from Phoenix with that voice, the soft, embarrassed one he used as a kid when he broke something. He and Danielle had just gotten married. They'd taken on a lease they couldn't afford. Danielle's job had fallen through. And could I maybe just temporarily contribute to their rent? Just for a few months, Mom, until we get settled. I remember exactly how that felt. Not the request itself, the way my heart opened like it always does when my child needs something. That warm tight feeling in your chest where love and worry mix together until you can't tell them apart. I said yes before he finished the sentence. The few months became 12, then 24. I moved in with them at month 18. My own idea, actually. Because I thought maybe sharing space would help everyone save money together. It made sense on paper. What I didn't count on was Danielle. Danielle Hartwell, now Danielle Mercer, is the kind of person who redecorates your furniture without asking. Who answers questions you directed at someone else. Who within 6 weeks of me moving in started referring to my bedroom as the spare room. Not out of cruelty exactly, out of certainty. The certainty that she was the center of every room she walked into, and everything else, everyone else existed to support that center. In the first year, I told myself it was nerves. New marriage, new living arrangement. She was adjusting. I made her coffee in the mornings. I brought groceries home every Thursday. $340, $380, sometimes more. I cleaned the kitchen after dinners. I cooked because Danielle didn't cook and Tyler worked late. I told myself this was love. That's what mothers do. Psychology note. This pattern has a name. It's called gradual boundary erosion. When small accommodations compound over time until one person has given away so much of their autonomy that they can no longer identify when it happened. It's not weakness. It's a slow burn process that often targets people whose primary identity is caregiving. If you recognize yourself here, keep listening. By year 3, something had shifted so quietly I almost missed it. Danielle had stopped thanking me. Not all at once. The thank yous just thinned out, then disappeared. She stopped asking and started assuming. The groceries I bought were what we needed. The rent money I contributed every month was covered. When I mentioned maybe cutting back on the grocery contribution since my pension wasn't stretching like it used to, she looked at me with this very specific expression. Not anger, something colder, inconvenience, like I'd suggested dismantling something structural. That look sat in my stomach for 3 days. I told myself, this is nothing. You're being sensitive. But here's the thing about your gut. It processes information your brain hasn't caught up to yet. That look was a warning. I just wasn't ready to hear it. Year 4 brought the first public humiliation. Tyler and Danielle threw a housewarming party for their new home office renovation. My money had funded about $8,000 of it. Tyler had asked for a contribution to the project, and I wrote a check with my own hand. I stood in their living room that evening talking to people I'd never met, and Danielle introduced me to her colleagues as Tyler's mom. She's been staying with us for a while. Not this is Carol. She helped us build this home. Not even my name first. Tyler's mom staying with us. I smiled, said it was lovely to meet them. Drove home. Went upstairs and I sat on my bed and felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. Not sadness, eraser. The distinct sensation of being made invisible in a room where you paid admission. That's when I started paying closer attention, which brings us to the anniversary, their 5th. The reservation was at House Ion, the restaurant downtown. 2-week waiting list, prefix dinners starting at $185 per person. 3 days before the dinner, Danielle appeared in the kitchen doorway while I was making tea. She had that tone she uses for scheduling conflicts. Flat, practical, slightly impatient. Carol, just so you know, Saturday night is our reservation. Private thing. Just the two of us and some close friends. I turned around, set down my mug. Oh, of course. I wasn't planning to join. Right. She didn't move. I just didn't want any misunderstanding. Misunderstanding? Like I would have crashed their anniversary. Like showing up uninvited was something I'd ever done in 5 years of tiptoeing around their schedules and preferences. I felt that word like a small slap. Quick, precise, designed to sting without leaving a mark. No misunderstanding, I said, and I meant it differently than she thought. Saturday, I made myself dinner. Went to bed at 9 p.m. mostly fine. A little bruised, but fine. Adults make plans. That's life. I was a grown woman. I could handle it. Then Sunday morning at 7 a.m., I opened my phone. Danielle's mother, Sandra Hartwell, posts everything. Grandmother energy in every caption. Had uploaded 14 photos from the previous night. The table at High-In, the centerpieces, Tyler and Danielle laughing, glasses raised, friends I recognized, and in every comment, Sandra had tagged our beautiful family dinner and celebrating 5 years of love. Family dinner. I sat with that phrase. For a long time, longer than was probably healthy. I was upstairs in the same house where I was contributing $2,400 monthly plus groceries plus utilities. And my son was at a family dinner where I was specifically, deliberately excluded, and they had made it public. Here's what I want you to understand because this matters. When someone excludes you privately, they might be thoughtless, overwhelmed. You can give them the benefit of the doubt, but when they exclude you and then post photos of the exclusion publicly, that's a statement. They are defining what you are to them and they're comfortable with everyone seeing it. I was not family. I was a resource and I was done funding the distinction. I didn't go downstairs Sunday or Monday. The impulse was to confront them immediately, heart pounding, voice shaking. But I've been a school principal for 31 years. I've learned emotional confrontations fought at maximum heat almost never produce the outcome you want. You become the problem. You become dramatic. You hand the other person the narrative they need. So I waited. And while I waited, I made some phone calls. Legal note, and this one is important. If you have been contributing money to someone's household with no written agreement, those contributions are generally considered gifts under the law. Gifts cannot be reclaimed, but going forward, you have every legal right to stop making those contributions at any time for any reason without notice. No contract, no obligation, no court can force you to continue voluntary financial support of an adult child or their spouse. The power to stop is entirely, completely yours. I'd been treating my contributions as love. Going forward, I was going to treat them as a choice, one I could unmake. Tuesday morning, I asked Tyler if we could talk, just the two of us. He sat across from me at the kitchen table with the expression of a man who already knows something is coming. I saw Sandra's photos, I said. He opened his mouth, closed it. I'm not upset about the anniversary dinner, I said. And I was mostly telling the truth. What I want to talk about is what those photos told me about how I'm seen in this household. Tyler did what Tyler always does when he's uncomfortable. He started explaining Danielle. She needed the evening to feel intimate. She hadn't meant to exclude me. Exactly. The invitation list was complicated. I let him talk. When he finished, Tyler, I've been contributing $2,400 a month to this household for over 4 years, plus groceries, plus utilities. I've done that because I love you and I wanted to support your family. But Sandra's post made it very clear that I'm not considered part of your family. So, I've been thinking about what that means for the arrangement going forward. The color left his face in a way I hadn't seen since he was 17, and I found out he'd been cutting class. I gave them 30 days not to move out. I wasn't cruel. I wasn't impulsive. 30 days to start covering the household expenses themselves. I would contribute $400, a gesture, nothing more. If after 60 days we couldn't reach a real agreement about how I was treated in this home, I would leave. They could manage the $3,200 monthly shortfall on their own. Then I went upstairs and called my sister in Scottsdale. The reaction was something. Danielle knocked on my door that evening with a very different energy. Not flat, not practical, flustered. There was a long conversation in which she said the word family 8 times, which I found instructive given that she hadn't used it about me once in 5 years. She said I was being reactive. Said I was punishing Tyler. Said, and this is my favorite, that she hoped I wasn't going to weaponize my financial contributions. I thought about that word for a moment, weaponize. Danielle, I said, you defined what I am to this household on a public post. I'm just updating the terms accordingly. She left without responding. I considered that a win. Here is something I learned in 31 years of managing a school. Power is almost never where people think it is. People assume it belongs to whoever is loudest, whoever makes the rules, whoever takes up the most space in a room. But real power, sustainable power, belongs to whoever controls the resources and knows it. I had known it once, then I forgot. Danielle's mother's 14 photos reminded me. The 60-day window passed. There were difficult conversations, some tears, Tyler's mostly. One dinner that started as an olive branch and ended with Danielle announcing that she didn't owe me gratitude for choices I made freely. She was right. Technically, she didn't owe me gratitude for gifts freely given, but she did owe me rent if she wanted me to keep paying it. Legal note number 2. If you have been paying living expenses for adults in a shared household, an attorney can help you draft a formal letter of intent to withdraw support. This creates a paper trail that protects you if there's ever a dispute. It takes about 2 hours and costs significantly less than another year of being invisible at your own kitchen table. I had the letter drafted by week 3. I'm writing this from my apartment, mine, 7 minutes from my sister. 1 bedroom, a small balcony, east-facing windows so I get the morning light. I pay $1,150 a month. I eat what I want when I want. Nobody redecorates my furniture. Tyler and I talk on Tuesdays. It's getting better, slowly, but better. He's an adult learning how to be a husband without a financial buffer. And that's hard. And I have compassion for it. But I don't have $2,400 a month for it anymore. Danielle and I don't talk. The photo Sandra posted is still up. 14 images. House Ion restaurant family dinner. Tyler and Danielle, glasses raised, looking beautiful and completely unaware of what those images were about to set in motion. I don't blame Sandra. She was just documenting her daughter's happiness. She had no idea she was also documenting mine. The exact moment it was defined and the exact moment I decided to reclaim it. There's something nobody tells you about reclaiming your own dignity. It doesn't feel triumphant at first. It feels like grief. You mourn the version of the relationship you thought you had, the son you thought would stand up. You mourn the money a little, but mostly you mourn the time. And then slowly, the way mornings happen, it starts to feel like breathing again. Like you've been in a room with a slow leak and you finally stepped outside. I stepped outside. If you are contributing more than you're Receiving financially, emotionally, in terms of basic respect, hear this. Generosity without reciprocity is not virtue. It is a pattern. And patterns can be changed. Document everything going forward. Talk to someone, a counselor, an attorney, a trusted friend. And the next time someone tells you with their actions that you are not family, believe them. Then decide what that means for how you spend your money, your time, and your energy. They posted the photos publicly. I responded publicly, too, just not on Instagram. The moment you stop funding someone else's comfort at the cost of your own, that is not punishment. That is self-preservation.